So I'm Matt Mamelinti. I'm councilman at large, so I represent the entire city. And this evening, we're blessed to have 2 council members as well, Mr. Greg Hicksball, who's the president of the council, and Mr. Tony Violi, who represents the 5th district on map, but he is always listening and representing the entire city as well. So without further ado, but we'll close, talk about the next couple meetings. But I know we're really excited when Mr. Blasko comes and speaks. I know you guys have a lot of great questions and concerns. He does a great job answering them. I know you guys have been wanting some updates for the last couple weeks. He's a busy man, but we appreciate the time that he's given us this evening. So with that, I will turn it over to Mr. Phil Blasko.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Well, I literally just got off not the same field, but I had soccer practice before, so I'm sorry. This is what you wear to a 4- and 5-year-old soccer practice.
Right.
You're good.
It was a tough practice. There was already tears and yes, a lot of picking up the ball and running with it. And so here we are. So I'm Phil Blasko. I'm born and raised in Mishawaka. I moved away for 15 years, and then I moved back and I started having kids. No place like home. So I've been here since 2016. As you guys may have heard me before, when I was put in this position, I was tasked with the idea of reinvent the entire Parks Department. We want new events, we want new programming, we want camps, we want the market, we want a lot of different things to happen for the variety of interest in our community, from toddlers to seniors. And so for the last 9 or so years, that's what we've been doing. We've been doing a lot of throwing it at the wall and see what sticks, and really relying on the community to tell us what they like and what they don't like. One of the challenges is, when I started 2016, we had, I think, 2 or 3 events and 2 recreation programs. If you keep throwing it at the wall and it sticks, you end up with over 60 events and a market and 18 recreational leagues and all of these things that we are now doing, which I have an amazing staff. I have one here with me, Lauren in the back there, with her amazing husband, Paul. So Lauren runs our summer camps. She's soon to be a mother. Here we are. So one of the things that I like to pride myself on with the Parks Department, there's a little slogan there. I have a couple other ones throughout my presentation, but it's where everyone has a chance to play. And so when you go to our parks, every park is a very different experience from the previous experience. As we have continued to update and renovate our parks, we have learned a lot of new things. And so we want to make sure if somebody has a disability of any sort, they feel welcome to come to our park. For example, at Temple Park, we had a grandmother that had her grandchild was born without eyes. And if you guys aren't faced with that every day, which I'm not, and shame on me, I never really thought about that when I was renovating parks. We don't have Braille in our parks. And so from that conversation, we got Braille at Temple, and then we put Braille at Battelle Park. We have Braille now at Crawford Park. And also we have new merry-go-rounds that a child in a wheelchair can get on and be able to enjoy it with able bodies. And so we are very intentional on where we place these items too. We don't want to feel like, hey, if you have a disability, you play over here. If you don't, you get to play over here. We want it all together. And so you'll see that as we continue to renovate our parks, making sure that we are breaking down all barriers so everyone feels welcome, no matter what their ability may or may not be. So I'll get into some highlights of 2024 and then what we got coming on in 25. At the very end, I will answer as best I can any questions you guys have about anything we got going on. Let me see if I can get this slideshow to work. There we go. So here's some highlights from 2024. We had over 3,400 participants in our sports and our summer camps. Eberhard had over 25,000 rounds.
Oh my.
We had over 19,000 visitors at the Ironworks ice rink. If you could, the ice rink's open for like 3 months. So trying to please 19,000 people in 3 months is is a challenge, but I think we do a good job at it. The Mishawaka market, we had over 70 vendors every Sunday for 13 weeks. That happens down in the Ironworks Plaza. And then we had over 40 special events this last year, the summer concert series, 3 nights a week. One of the things that we try to pride ourselves on when we talk about our youth sports is the kids come smiling and they leave smiling. There are many of options out there for kids to be very serious about sports and focus on the winning side of things, which I have nothing against any of that. But when they're coming into the Parks Department, we like to focus on the fundamentals and the kids having fun. I am a true believer if the kids aren't having fun, then why are we playing the sport? I read a stat early on in my career was at the age of 13, it was 76% of kids quit sports, and the number one reason is it's just not fun anymore. And so we try to pride ourselves on kids come smiling and leave smiling and making sure that they're having fun, and that's the focus of our program. Now, I will say we have got backlash on that. People want to take it a little more serious, but we stay strong on that, and that, hey, if you want to, you're more than welcome to go to any of the other places. But here, this is what we focus on, and it's worked for us over the years. So I'm going to keep on walking back and forth on this stinking slideshow here. Some of the new events we had this last year, here at Heroes Park, we had Camp Kennedy. So Devin came back with Katie Lou, who was with the Indiana Fever. And so the playground, or the basketball court's named after Devin. And so we offered they came back and donated the time to do a free clinic for all the kids for an entire weekend, which was really cool. And at the very end of the clinics, Katie Lou actually, on the way out, gave my daughter her shoes, and they fit. They're the same size. So my daughter thinks she is the coolest thing since sliced bread. It was also interesting that my daughter at the time was only 11, and she's fitting the same size shoes. So my daughter is going to be very tall. And then we had our Country Fest. Drew Baldridge was our headliner for that. And so we've really been trying to focus on bringing in some bigger acts to downtown to try to create this festival environment. We created Ironworks Avenue for hosting large events. And so Country Fest was down there. Drew Baldridge had the #1 hit in the country called Somebody's Daughter. And so that was really cool to have him in Mishawaka. If you guys didn't see it, we had the holiday drone show, which I thought was the coolest thing since sliced bread. If you guys don't know, I'm into Christmas a lot. And so we had the images that would appear there in downtown where we had Santa Claus and Buddy the Elf and the leg lamp, and it had the Mish up in drone with drones being made out of them. So this year we're going to do that again. It was a huge hit. We're going to do it again. And another cool event that we offered this last year was RoboFest. We partnered with School City Mishawaka and the Robotics Club, and they came down on the plaza with all their robots and had them all out for display, and the kids from the community for free could come down and interact and see how these robots work. And STEM is becoming very big, and so we love to have that in our parks. And we aren't good at that because we've never really had it in the park system, but they're great at it. And so we partnered with them, and they brought all the resources down and did it free for the community. A couple other new events we had in 24. We had a car show where we partnered with Studebaker, which was one of those things. It was nice to see because we had a lot of the senior population come down and check out the old cars. And so that's just like the weekend before, we had robots. The next weekend we had cars. And so we always are trying to change things up to make sure everyone feels like there's something for them to do. We had another cool event this year. We had Carnival on Ice at the ice rink. The ice rink's 3 years old, and so we now have to start figuring out unique ways to keep people engaged. And so we had an actual carnival on the ice with different carnival games with tents, and so that brought a very large crowd. We also did a foam fest down at the Ironworks Plaza. I'm obsessed, as Lauren will probably state, I'm obsessed with foam machines. And so if you guys ever seen Slide the Hill out of George Wilson, we have multiple foam machines. I'm a big kid at heart, and so this event for me, I love it because we have multiple foam machines and we just spray it all over the place. And if you want to see kids yell and scream and have a great time, turn on a foam machine. They love it. And then to conclude our season, this is my daughter Lydia, so I'm practicing with her, and my son Elliot. We created a putt-putt course on the ice rink. And so out of wood, we created different holes, and then we drilled little circles there in the middle, and they used hockey pucks. And so that was a really cool hit because, we used to have Merrifield where people got to play hockey at. Well, we can't really do hockey there, but we could do something similar like this. And so we're trying to expand on figuring out ways to continue to bring different audiences down to the ice rink. Some of the improvements, the Veterans Walkway. This is with our ribbon cutting here. This is at night. If you guys haven't been down there at night, it will take your breath away. It is amazing. There's something about walking down that path as you look at the Eternal Flame. It has all the different wars and then engraved in the actual monument are all the war dead that were from Mishawaka. And so it is really cool. I tell you, at the very beginning, the Eternal Flame wasn't very eternal. It kept on going out, but we got it fixed. I was out there numerous nights trying to relight the thing. But now we had to get the guts out of it, and it had a thermal couple inside of it that if it got too hot, it would stop. And so we had to get rid of that. But now it's all good. And so we cut a ribbon on that one. And then we have Crawford Park. This is the first phase of Crawford Park. So this was the north portion of the parking lot. Put a new restroom in there, new splash pad, new playground, and a new pavilion. And the restroom now is located strategically because if you remember where the old restroom used to be, it was all the way on the south side of the park. Well, every wedding and every prom and everything else, everyone in their dress had to walk all the way across the field to get to the restroom way down there. And so now the restroom is it's placed strategically to make sure that the people that are visiting Shirajiri also have easy access to the restroom. This also has a part of our inclusive playground here. The merry-go-round that I was talking about is there. There's also braille wall. There also is musical instruments there as well, and a really cool slide. We partnered with the Mayor's Dave Woods Youth Advisory Council to create a little pocket park, and so that's the northeast corner of City Hall. So right over there where the old Ed's Collectibles was, if you aren't familiar, right across the street. And so the idea is calling it the Mish, and then you are the I in the middle, and that's me and my family. And so at night it's really cool because right here, it lights up, as you can see here. But if you go from a drone way up in the sky, that's the shape of the river in Mishawaka. And so that's exactly the river there. And so there also is a heart there at the bottom, so you're standing in the heart of the city. And so we're going to have ivy growing. We got ivy from the Chicago Cubs. And so we're going to be growing that back there. It's actually growing right now in the MEF greenhouse across the street from the Battelle Center. We also did the first phase of Rose Park, which included the new playground. There was a gazebo there. There was a new pavilion and a new splash pad. This is a multi-phased approach at Rose Park, as same thing we did at Twin Branch Park. But this park here is very unique and has very different amenities that any other park has. And so we were very intentional in doing that. Everyone loves the new bucket there. And then the restroom, well, it's probably the second or third scariest restroom in the city at Rose Park. We now have a very nice restroom that is here at Rose Park. If you guys have been by the band shell at night, we now have lights that I did this to stagnant colors here, but they can change any color of the rainbow. And so as we have different holidays, I chose to show you red and green. I wonder why, but that's the colors we chose. And so, but also with this upgrade, the band shell is a historic site for us, and so we didn't want it to see it implode on itself. And so, unfortunately, when you have something as old as it is, water can do a lot of damage. And so we had water going in behind the bricks, pushing the bricks out, and then the roof was leaking. We had cracks. We had large pieces of the columns that were falling off. And so the mayor was very passionate to make sure that we found a way to make sure it didn't go to the wayside. And so if you go by there now, there's a brand new roof on top of there. There's all brand new concrete, not concrete, limestone. They had to reconnect it all. And now that we also have new roofs on the side because there was leaking through the roofs as well. Those are flat roofs. Flat roofs are quite a challenge. So on both sides are flat roofs there. So you guys probably all know about this project.
Next slide.
So this project here, I talked with engineering actually this morning, and they have promised me that they are going to be done here by the start of school in August. Promised me. So as they continue to upgrade this, the one things I wanted to note out, we had to rip out a tennis or a volleyball court. We are replacing it with 2 new volleyball courts. But as you can see, this is realigned, and this is going to be eventually removed, that little strip there. Majority of this summer, this summer, half of this parking lot is not going to be accessible, the north half, but we still will have the south half. And so we will have one way in, basically one way in, one way out to get into this parking lot over here. But they have promised me that half of that parking lot will still be available to use. And then we have additional parking. As you guys know, we have started doing the soccer out there, and parking is a disaster. And so this will help us with some of the overflow parking, but this will also help with people thinking that they can just pull into the grass and just park wherever they want. And now we are going to have curbs all the way around it so they can't do that, to make sure everyone is safe out there. I don't know a lot about the behind the scenes of everything there as far as when the construction of each intersection, all that stuff's going to happen. I just have been promised by them that they're going to be done by the start of school year. I would imagine our soccer program will stay at Merrifield for the entire year this year, and we may bring it back the following year there. But Merrifield seems to be working out pretty well for us as well, because there's, the pool parking lot is significantly large. But our soccer program, we have, I think, almost 400 kids in soccer right now. Yeah.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, it is. It is good. It's just the challenge nowadays with youth sports. It isn't just mom and dad that come anymore. It's grandma, grandpa, aunts, and uncles. So there's a lot of cars that show up for one person. Another improvement we're going to look at is Rose Park Phase 2. And so currently this portion is done. This was Phase 1. Phase 2 will include the bocce ball courts, 2 of those, the Belgian bowling, there will be 6 of those, 4 pickleball courts, a tennis court, a wiffle ball field, a pump track, and we're trying to squeeze in the basketball court into there, but you can kind of get a feel for what that pump track will look like. The pump track, if you're not familiar, basically is to use your momentum. There isn't like big jumps or whatever. It's basically you're just pushing down as you go, and so it wouldn't be like we're going off big jumps and trying to land them or doing tricks. What's cool about a pump track is you can use a scooter, you can use a wheelchair is accessible, and you can use bikes on it as well. And then many of you probably remember when they used to do the big wiffle ball World Series, and so we are going to have our own wiffle ball field with the green monster. It'll look similar to this out here in the next portion of this project. We're also going to be putting in a new large pavilion there as well. And then there'll be also a Gaga pit, which is, a Gaga pit is the same, if you guys look out in the park over there, it's that big old octagon looking thing. It's like dodgeball, but they smack it below their knees. The rock garden, if you guys have drove by there, it looks bare right now. All the trees that were in there are all out. Those trees actually weren't original, so we're trying to bring it back to the original look. And so we plan, these are the different tiers. It's kind of hard to envision what it looks like, but the very top tier where the water, what the heck's it called? What's it called?
Pump house.
Yeah, the pump wheelhouse, yes. This is these are to the right and left of that. And so these are some of the plants that you're going to see in there. And then the next tier down, where the little benches are on the side, it'll be all basically a very large botanical garden for us all the way down the rock garden. And if you guys didn't know, this last year we put in a new fountain that used to be there. Now we have water coming out of the middle, and so we're trying to bring it back. But as you can imagine, doing any type of work in the rock garden is very difficult because it has to be all handwork. You can't get any machines or anything down in there. And so it's been a little tricky, but we're doing a majority of this in-house with our landscape crew, which is saving the city thousands and thousands of dollars by being able to do it ourselves. We got Normain Park improvements coming on. This is the spearheaded by our Mishawaka Parks Foundation, and so they're doing a lot of the private funding. And so we have currently almost $2 million in private funds to go towards this park. And so you'll see we're going to be putting in a playground, splash pad, pavilions, restroom, a miracle field, which I'll talk about here in a second, and another ball diamond there. We're going to have to expand our parking lot as well. And so what is really cool about this park is the miracle field. Has anybody ever heard of a miracle field? No? If you go to the next slide. So the Miracle organization is out of Atlanta, Georgia. There's over 300 of these fields across the country. There's only one in the state of Indiana. There's 2 in Michigan. And so a miracle field is designed to allow anybody with any ability the chance to play baseball. And so this field is a synthetic turf, and it is wheelchair accessible. Every player has a buddy that's with them that helps them bat, helps them run to the bases. It is a very community organized thing where we'll have multiple organizations as far as we're working with Logan Center, ADEC, Lighthouse. We're working with all the different schools, Special Olympics, United Way. There's Boys and Girls Club. There's tons of us all working together to figure out how we're going to make this thing live. But what was stunning to me as we were starting to do these stats is in north central Indiana, there are over 80,000 individuals that could use this field, and currently there's not a field for them to use. And so when you think about this field, majority of people think about the youth. Well, there are many adults for their entire life have never been able to play baseball because of whatever their ability may be. And that we are trying to incorporate not only the youth, but we want to have adults participate too, because they have never been given the chance, and they deserve the chance to play. Everyone deserves the chance to play and have a good time. And so I always go back to, there's an individual living in my neighborhood, his name's Bubba. He goes to every Thursday night concert religiously, and he makes sure, he tells me he's going to be there. He has a disability, he has cerebral palsy, and I'm not sure of the other diagnosis, but he had never was on a swing ever in his life. And we have a swing down there, it's a bucket swing, and we got him out of his wheelchair, and it's designed for people that are in wheelchairs. Got him out, put him in, it straps over the top of him. And I've never seen somebody so happy. And this is a grown adult, he's almost 50 years old. It was the first time ever in his life he got to swing. And so I want to have those same experiences here at the Miracle Field. And so the idea here is we're going to have a lot of different partners, but we're going to have our own in-house league for the Miracle Field. And so we're partnering with a lot of different Miracle organizations. Actually, I was just on a phone conference today with the director of Miracle Field in Scottsdale, Arizona, and trying to pick their brain on how the best way to operate. And so I was just on spring break down in Myrtle Beach, but on our way back we did a detour into Charleston. They have a Miracle Field there to try to pick their brain on how they do their stuff. So I think it's going to be a regional draw, but it's going to be life-changing for individuals that are going to be able to play for the first time. And this guy here, he's on our front page of everything. That's Zachary. He works for us in our landscape crew with Jake Crawford. Amazing kid. There's a video, if you go on YouTube, if you type in Mishawaka Miracle Park, and he's talking there, and nobody prompted him to say anything. And he says, I just want everyone to be able to play. And so it's a tearjerker to hear him say that. But he's on our team. He checks in my office all the time when he's in. When are we going to build it? When are we going to build it? And I keep on promising it's coming.
So there's not a miracle field anywhere in Indiana now?
There's one, and I believe that one is in around Indianapolis area.
Oh,
There's
okay.
not nothing north of Indy.
Okay.
There is one in goodness, I forget what part of Michigan. It's not that far over the line. I can't remember the city, but we would be the only one in northern Indiana to have one of these. The park improvements at Mary Gibbard. I don't know, talk about a bike park. Our old bike park that we had there was a little too aggressive. And so we took that one out. We are going to go to more of a wood feature bike park with smaller hills and rollers. And so we're partnered with Nimba. Nimba's going to build that for us there on the hill where we used to tube there at Mary Gibbard. And then this is a cool idea that we've kind of stolen, but we're making it our own. Jake Crawford's crew, they have made these paint tubes. And so we're going to design them to look like paint tubes that have our logo on them and wrapped around. But we're going to put them at Buter Park. And so whatever color the paint tube is, those are the flowers that are going to come out of it. And so we're trying to create some type of picture moment for people to go check out while they're walking on the river walk. Some of the new events, I don't know if you guys have heard, but the concerts are back at Eberhard Golf Course on Friday nights. We have brought those back. They're on our website and they're on our Facebook page of all the different acts. The first Friday in June will be our first one. It's from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. on the patio there. We have a lot of new patio furniture out there. We have redone the deck, repainted it. We have new shade structures out there as well. We're trying to make a really fun experience for people down there as we bring those back. Here in a couple of weeks, we have a tribute fest in Ironworks Plaza. So we have cover bands from Elton John and then John Mellencamp and Garth Brooks coming to the plaza. And then we also are doing a brew fest in October, a haunted brew fest. The idea behind that is we're partnered with Hop Station on that, but people will come dressed in costume, have a good time, and again, trying to throw different things out there for different age groups to make sure everyone feels like that we have something for them. My daughter is the most excited about the next one, which is Taylorville, and we couldn't afford Taylor Swift, but we got Taylorville, and she's actually traveling all across the country, and so she's coming here to Mishawaka, and we're doing that on August 1st. That's our first time doing something like that. And our hope with that one really is to try to target the teen population. I don't know if you guys have been around teens. I'm sure you have. It's very hard to get them engaged and get their ideas on what they want us to do. And so our thought was, well, heck, if Taylor Swift can't get the teens out there, we're in trouble. So we're going to try this event, and hopefully we can grow on that event as well. That is all I have. This slide here is something that I would love to do, and I'm in the works of trying to find a way to make happen. And if you can envision George Wilson Tubing Hill looking something similar to that, where you can ski and tube all year round, I think that would be amazing. And so we're working on a couple of big grants to see if we can find a way to pull that off for Mishawaka. Questions? I threw a lot out there. Yes?
So, my question is, the first Tuesday in August, do I have access to a pavilion?
The pavilion will be available, yes.
Okay.
Parking lot.
Half the parking lot will be a challenge. That you just need to talk with the police. I know they had all that stuff, right? Who was that guy?
That's me.
So, but yeah, no, we aren't renting it out just because of the construction, but it will be.
You're not renting it out to anybody this summer?
We are not.
Interesting. So, when I email Yvonne, I'm gonna tell her, you said I could use it.
You? Yeah, no. As
Okay.
long as you coordinate with the police and all that. that portion of the parking lot will be available, so,
Okay,
yes.
well, we got the school and
The-
the street too, so.
Yeah, the challenge with us renting it out is just the unknown of having continual people, and people love to go to that pavilion, and there's large crowds, and then we have overflow parking, and then people want to jump the curb and all that. We don't want to deal with that, and so we're renting out your pavilion, but that one there, we are taking a break until we get it all done.
Okay,
And the flow of traffic is a lot better.
okay.
The two volleyball courts at Twin Branch?
Yes.
I saw in there, is that sand volleyball?
Yes, there'll be sand.
Okay, because you said we took one out, so that old one they're taking out because of the construction?
Yes.
And they're gonna put two?
Putting two in. We have, we partnered with the organization is called the Best Damn Sports, I think it's called. They are doing a lot of adult programming for us, and so their sand volleyball program that they're doing is starting to get some momentum, and so we had space to put two of them there. And a sand volleyball court isn't a ton of money, so we're gonna throw two back in there because there isn't another sand volleyball court on that side of town either, so. And then the kids in the neighborhood can also use it. Did you have a question?
Central Park,
Yeah,
when they have the concerts there.
yeah,
I don't know if you've ever been to the concerts or not, but
Yes.
most of the seniors sit by the river.
'Cause of the
where
shade.
Shade is at.
yes,
And that's behind the stage. You don't want to sit in front of the
Yeah.
stage. I'm not a sun worshiper. I can't sit out there
Yeah.
very long. So I'm looking for shade all the time.
it's
And they're
tough.
hard to find there.
Yeah, it is very hard to find there. That's why we did plant those trees, but those trees are gonna take forever to get up there. I don't, to be honest with you, I do not have a solution for shade there, because I don't know where you would put shade to not be in the way then of the people behind you. Cause you got the slope of the bowl there. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how we solve the shade factor of that.
Where are they going?
Whenever I go on Thursday nights, I try not to make that back lap. I try to skirt and I go back this way because they see me coming.
Even in that beer garden that's up front.
Yeah.
There's no shade there either.
Yeah,
There's no covers or nothing.
yeah. I get it.
Anyway.
Where's Crawford Park?
Crawford Park?
Buy a big house.
You probably remember it as Merrifield. It used to be Merrifield was the very large, both sides.
Yeah.
Crawford now is the south side.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, of Mishawaka Avenue there.
Right across from the Japanese garden.
Yep.
Any other questions? Well, we have them.
You sure? Just the time to yell at me.
Very good.
You know what? Twin Branch could use more swings for the kids. When they have soccer out there,
Yeah.
and there's little kids that aren't involved in soccer, those swings are full. And there's like a little waiting line,
If there was something that I could change, I would have made Twin Branch Playground larger.
Yeah.
But when we originally did Twin Branch, I also didn't think our soccer program would go from like 30 to 400.
Yeah.
And so, like I think someone said, it's great, but also it's like we have now a ton of kids all on a small little playground.
For sure.
Not a question, but a comment. I sat on the park board for about 10, 15 years, I think. He does an amazing job. I don't like to give him any credit, but his staff is out of this world. Great.
Yes.
So I just wanted to make sure I acknowledge that he is not responsible.
This guy right here, he'll keep you humble. He will. Yeah, well, our busy season starts here in May, and we don't stop running until October. And so,
You see your staff everywhere.
Everywhere.
Every day.
they even come to
They're the
neighborhood
best.
meetings.
They're the best. They're the best.
And I was going to echo that. My kids have gone through the program at an early age, and now my oldest daughter is now a referee.
Yes.
And to Mr. Violi's comment, I mean, he and the staff do an amazing job. The number of events and stuff that they attend is unfathomable. So kudos to them, and without them, our Parks and Rec department wouldn't be as successful as it is. So
Yeah.
thank you to you, and please extend it to the staff as well.
Thank you.
All right, without any other questions, we'll turn it over to Mr. Bruce. Thank you, Phil.
Thank you, Bill.